Coach Ted McIntyre. Coach McIntyre has been an assistant JV coach, head JV coach, assistant varsity, and head varsity coach in his 40 years of coaching. In 1971, he started coaching at Mount Pleasant, and between coaching at Brighton, Beale City, and Beaverton, he always returned to Mount Pleasant. During the years from 1971 through 2010, Coach McIntyre was part of 5 conference championships, district and regional championships, 8 playoff appearances, 17 consecutive regular season wins, and was awarded the MHSFCA Assistant Coach of the Year in 2006. Presently, he is the head JV coach at Mount Pleasant and working in the press box on Friday nights for his son, the head coach at Mount Pleasant. If you look at the program, the experience from the press box does help. Coach McIntyre's most humorous incident in coaching. My first year at Beale City, stepping into a very successful program, I felt a lot of pressure to be successful. After winning the home opener against our arch rival, one of the parents, who was working the chain gang, came up to me and said, "Well, I guess you've earned the right to coach another week." I found out later he was just an avid supporter with a good sense of humor. He didn't realize how much he had fed into my fears. Coach McIntyre's biggest thrills in coaching. Number 1, coaching Beale City in the semifinals in 1995. Number 2, coaching at Ford Field in the state finals in 2011. And number 3, the biggest thrill of all comes from the interaction with my son throughout our times coaching together. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Hall of Fame, Coach Ted McIntyre.
I wrote a 7-minute speech. I've sat over here as all the other speakers have spoken. Each time they said something that was in my speech, I crossed it out. I'm down to 2 words. Unfortunately for you, thank yous belong to a lot of people when you get an honor such as this, because as all the previous speakers have indicated, it's a shared thing. And I want to share it with the family members and the people that have come here today. And I have other people that, many of whom are no longer with us, that I have to share at least a moment of recognition with, because they've shaped and built the character that leads to sticking with this business for as many years as I have. But I'd like to introduce my family. My wife, Chris, she'd stand. My son, Jason, and his wife, Gretchen. My daughter, Leslie, and her husband, Brian Durant. My grandson, Ryan, is here tonight to share this moment. And we have 2 members of our staff, Jason McLean and Josh Beat. I too would like to congratulate all the other inductees. I would like to thank the Board of Directors and the Hall of Fame Committee and everybody that makes the association operate. It's a lot of work, and it's done by a few individuals, and they make this whole thing work and come off, and they deserve a lot of credit. On my part, I've had a lot of work interchange with Jack, and he certainly has helped lead me through the paperwork that it took to get to this moment, so I thank him also. The biggest influence on me was my father. He was a World War II veteran and a Korean War veteran, and he could have written the movie A Few Great Men, because he taught from day one that it was all about teamwork and it was all about following instructions, and he truly believed in the statement in the movie that if you didn't do those things, people were going to die. Fortunately, for most of my things as a young child, I wasn't involved in it, but it was certainly ingrained that you were a part of a team and you had to take care of your teammates, and that was really the starting of my foundation for football and the love that I found in the game of football. I've had many coaches that have influenced me, probably the most important of which was Hilt Foster, who gave me my first job. He's also a member of the Hall of Fame. I then, through, as some of the other speakers have talked about the troubles in the state of Michigan in the 80s, I bounced around. I got a job at Brighton where Duke Williams saw something in me and gave me a chance. And I got a chance to work with another Hall of Fame member, John Seckinger. Made a real good friendship with Rich Adams, and those all influenced my path to this point in time. The biggest influence, I spent years working with a man by the name of Robert Utterback, and he was a tremendous influence, not just from the knowledge of football, but in the growth of the business of coaching and treating kids, and just the way it all fit together and how you shared the path, and hopefully that's a part of what it all leads to. I've been fortunate to work with hundreds of young people who come and work on our staff because they come over from Central. They spend a year. 2 young men introduced themselves again tonight that have worked in our program. All of the athletes and everyone else are part of this. You don't reach or achieve anything without that cooperative atmosphere, and I'm very proud of that. The biggest thank you of all, of course, goes to my son, who we've kind of flipped roles now. I spent some time trying to teach the game to him when he was younger, but he's beginning to teach me the game because it's changed a lot, and it's been a real experience to have that and share that. It really is one of the proudest moments of my coaching. There's really not much else to say. I'm very humbled to have received this honor, and I'm just thankful for all of the people that are part of it and made it all happen. And thank you for being here to listen.